Yeah, good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir. I
Yeah, am I
hope you are
audible?
doing well. Yes, sir, you are very clear now.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I hope you are doing well, sir.
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you for asking. So, sir, we are waiting for our other panelists to join, as well as we're waiting for our participants as well. So, we'll be starting shortly. And also,
Sure,
Sethwinder,
sure.
sir, one of the panelists is also here.
Yes, fine. I'll wait then.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, Vishal, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you are on mute.
Hi, very good afternoon, everyone.
I hope you are doing well, sir.
Doing great. It's chilling here.
That's great, sir. So, it's again great to see you.
Absolutely lovely to see you all.
And sir, Mr. Sethwinder Singh sir and Mr. Anshuman Saikia sir already been like he already present here. And so sir, like we are just waiting for our participants to join, and then we'll starting shortly.
Nice to meet both Satvinder and Anshuman. It would be great meet.
Yeah, same here, Vishal.
Hi Vishal. Hi Anshuman. How are you
Hi,
guys?
sir.
Hi, Nimal.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry I logged in. Just didn't check. It's my son's account.
Yeah, that's what I was not able to recognize.
Yeah. It's showing as I think my son's name.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, his email ID. I think. Uh, Change the account. I think it'll log off. It's okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. There is no digital strategy, there's tragedy in the digital world.
The, the digital world is developing with such force and such a pace that you simply can't control or ban it. People want to be globally connected.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I, Achin Garg, along with my co host Shivangi, welcome you to IGNITIA 2.0, a business conclave with Team Newswire, the official media portal of IBS Hyderabad, and Dot Club, the official techno managerial club of IBS Hyderabad.
We hope all of you have a great time. The topic for the evening is how has technology changed the way we use media? Now, let's introduce our guests for the panel. We warmly welcome our esteemed guest of today, Mr. Sethwinderjeet Singh sir, Mr. Anshuman Saikia sir, and Mr. Vishal Bhadwatsar. We would like to welcome our esteemed members of faculty, Dean Academics, IBS Hyderabad, CS Shailajan sir, Student Activity Coordinator Madhvi Garikaparthi ma'am, HOD of Operations and IT and Area Coordinator Samyadeep Chakraborty sir, Mentor of Team Newswire Asha Binuraj ma'am, and Mentor of Dot Club Krishna Sena sir. We would also like to thank our sponsors Cherry Blossoms, ClickOCart, Crick Academy, Cultural Gens, D Gamers, Filter Beans, More Vision, Henry Haven, QI Media, QI Tech, Story Network, Tripore, Soundsworth Manipur, and Kriti Henna.
Please follow the general instructions. Please keep your cameras on. Your mic should be on mute. You may use the chat box for any questions.
Team Newswire is the official news and media portal of IBS Hyderabad that works towards keeping its readers updated with news from all around the world with events happening around the premises. With the events, conclaves, and panel discussions, we bring practical knowledge to our community about corporate lives through taboo topics and events like Human Library. Team Newswire provides the opportunity to the students of IBS Hyderabad to refashion their erudite ideologies towards the corporate world by encouraging versatility in its domains to achieve a broader perspective of the corporate culture.
Dot Club, the official techno-managerial club of IBS Hyderabad, believe in nurturing the analytical skills and tech-savvy attitude for resolving emerging managerial challenge, along with an horizontal focus on academic learning and employability.
So now the first guest for today is Mr. Sethwinderjeet Singh sir. Mr. Sethwinderjeet sir has done his MBA in Strategy and Leadership from Indian School of Business. He has also done his corporate entrepreneurship in the field of Global Strategies Management from NUS Business School. In a career spanning 15 plus years, Mr. Sathwinder sir has held many positions in his career. He has served as a Joint Director, Submarine Operations in Indian Navy for about 1 year and 5 months, then as an Indian Coast Guard for 1 year, 4 months, and then as a Program Manager, Submarine Acquisition for about 4 years and 1 month.
Our second guest for today is Anshuman Saikia sir. He is currently the Associate Director at Ernst& Young. Mr. Saikia has done his MBA in Finance and Marketing from IBS Hyderabad, followed by a postgraduate diploma in International Business Operations from Indira Gandhi National Open University. In a career spanning more than 10 years, Mr. Saikia has been into many challenging positions from a project engineer in Shama Power India Limited to accounting manager in HCL Info System Limited for 3 years, to an associated manager in Ernst& Young, and now to a position of an associate director in Ernst& Young since July 2021.
Now, the third guest for today is Mr. Vishal Bhadwatsar. He has done his BTech in Electronics and Communication from Kurukshetra University. Then he has done his diploma in Vastu Shastra from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Delhi Kendra. He has held many positions in his career. He has been the organizational development specialist in helping brains for about 2 years and 6 months. He has served as a business consultant in Bristlecone for about 2 years and 7 months. He is also the co founder of Prediction for Success for 7 years, 8 months. He is also the co founder and creative head of Engineer by Mistakes for 1 year and 9 months, and also of Passionate Management Services for around 1 year and 10 months.
A very warm welcome to our esteemed guest. Now we hand over the stage to our mentor, moderator, Mr. Satyajit Nanda.
Thank you so much, anchors, and thank you so much, each and every guest here. And we are glad to have you here today. So, as the topic suggests, how has technology changed the way we use media? So, we would like to start a brief, and we'll be starting from Satwinder sir. Then we'll be moving to Anshuman sir. Then we'll be going for Vishal sir. So the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to keep it as a discussion or some sort of presentation sort of thing?
As
How
you
do you?
wish, sir.
Yeah, I have. Apologies for the time frame that I had. I've prepared a very basic presentation. I thought this topic is more of discussion rather than any theoretical subject where you can teach or discuss. I'll just put up a basic presentation and then we can go about discussing the points in that. I'll just send our entire screen. Presentation. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet, sir.
Okay. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so do we start? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah. So I'll just present. It's a very wide topic. I'm just giving a perspective of technology and media, the way you people want to get it discussed in IGNITIA. Just a perspective. What do we say? What is media? It's any channel of communication that we have. Anything from a pamphlet to a printed paper to digital media. It's the plural of medium actually. It can be television, radio, newspaper, print, internet is both media as well as technology, if you can say. It can be social media, any form of communication that we presently have. What has been the evolution of media? We've moved from printed newspapers, the era of the radios, and to present era where we have smartphones on our hand and the virtual world. What do you think? I mean, keep that question alive. Where do you think the future is going? Technology, it has revolutionized the way we live, not only in the media industry, in our entire lives, right from the word go, meaning when we came into this world, in fact, before it, the technology is affecting us and, carrying us forward wherever we go, whatever we live. Is the ease of use, comfort levels. This is what is the bedrock actually. If you say, why is technology evolving? Technology is evolving just on these basic principles, that ease of use. We want to make our lives much more comfortable. That's how the technology is evolving. And then this technology creates media. What is media? Media, as you all know, is the powerhouse. Who's and who of the world want to have a stake in the media? Why? Because the digital technology today is influencing day-to-day running of a common man. Wherever you and me go, this digital technology is influencing our lives. Twitter, they're at the cusp of traditional media and social media. We'll discuss what social media is. The line is blurry actually, but if you say that it is only a social connect, you'll be mistaken actually what Facebook and Twitter actually the underlying basic fundamental business principles there are. Media control. What happens with media? Media controls to what you see, what you live, uh, is what shapes the industry today. If I'm not sure how many people have seen, there's a famous movie, The Truman Show, Tom Jim Carrey, and wherein he is living a false world. That's what media today is. You think what you see, what you read, that shapes your decisions, that shapes your life. So today we see that a lot of things are free in this world. There's nothing free. There are no free lunches. If it is free, then the product is you. Social media. What is social media? Social media is community. It is community based. It's a virtual network wherein you share your thoughts, you share content, you collaborate with people, or a media or a place where you can say that you're living your life, virtually. If you don't mind, can I shift it to, because I'm not able to see anybody. I think I'm
Yeah, sure. Please.
just sharing the screen, so I'm not able to actually see. So it's giving me an odd. I'm speaking to whom? That's all. Are you able to see, or I just reduce it? I see the number of people. Is it okay? Are you able to
Absolutely.
make out?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see what this media technology, is it helping? Is it not helping? Where is it taking us? What is it doing? What was the need? Why it came into existence? I feel that media technology, firstly, is quite a bit of an enabler. Just imagine, for this media technology, for the visually and hearing impaired, how does it help them? It helps them to get connected to the world. Now the increasing pace of urbanizations in our lives, when we are living in the cities, we have nuclear families. How do you connect with your families? How do you connect with your friends? You have a busy pace of life. So that connect which is being provided by this technology, knowledge, books, they're at your command. you know then the ever growing smartphone technology that is happening. Are they really smart? Are they making you smart, or is it smart and making you dumb? So that's a question that we'll ponder upon. Then that feel of power is what is technology giving you. Though these lot of enablers, it is acting as an enabler, it has its own pitfalls. You need to think about the digital divide that is happening. Slowly and slowly, the haves and the have nots are increasing pace, both in the world as well as across countries. This knowledge gap, how does this knowledge gap come over? Because today everything is on internet, everything is technology based. Then slowly and slowly, the have nots and the haves are increasing the knowledge gap. Those who have it, the gap is increasing, having more knowledge. It's more of a byproduct. This divide is visible everywhere: job places, schools, societies, even if you say the countries that are there. So this was just a basic of what technology and what media is all about. The more important point is that the questions that we need to ask ourselves, actually, what is happening around us? What is the future? The questions that we need to ask. This is a basic concept, that I have been studying upon, researching on. It's a long way off, but I thought I'll just introduce this concept here. Product advertising and influencing decisions. That's a spiral. You know, what happens when Hello, are you able to hear me? Yeah. Okay. So when your
Yes, sir.
presence is there in the technological world, so how does it keep on running? We have a business environment. All of you are MBA students. You need to sell your product. You need your product to be visible to people. There is a urgent and authentic, or a genuine need, if not authentic, it's a genuine need for you to advertise your product. So how do you advertise your product? You advertise your product you by ensuring that more and more people are on the platform where you are advertising your product. It's a spiral. Suppose you like something, then the more you like something, the more you are on a platform, the more there is a need for the product to be there on that platform. So that growth is being fueled by this product as well as your decision to be there on that platform, whichever platform it is. Mostly we can take as a base, we'll not name companies or wherever the platform is there, based on internet. You are there on internet, the products are there on internet. It's a spiral. Now it's a big debate whether it's a vicious spiral, whether it's a progressive spiral and all. Maybe after some time, I'm doing a lot of research on this aspect, and maybe sometime when we connect later, I'll be able to present data to you that how it is influencing product advertising world by being there in the media technology, which is enabling this media divide. Right? Then there are a few other questions that we need to ask at any given point in time. If anybody wants to raise a question, please can raise. You know, whether this media technology which is there in the media is empowering us or is just using it for entertainment. We need to make conscious decisions onto that. A lot of people take it as empowerment, but if you actually see with the data which is there, a lot of research is there in happening in the USA and Australia, it's more of entertainment than empowerment. There are a lot few stories on empowerment, then more of them on entertainment. Is the ease where which we get data, by technology is helping us getting that data with that ease. But are we using that data, or are we using that information responsibly? That's to be seen. Now, education, learning, and development, you are actually affected by it. I was also affected when we were doing certain things, learning certain things. The students today are actually, the school going students are affected. What is education, what is learning, and what is development? There is a thin line. This technology which is enabling education is all the bedrock, on which you develop learning based on training. And then there is somebody coaching you to become, developing you into what you want to become. So these are the questions that we need to ask, we need to debate. There's a lot of information on the internet, whether it is authentic, whether it is fake, where it is going, where do you verify it? There are no clear-cut answers there to that. Then there is originality. Lost in time. You see a post on the social media platform, you just take it, share it, you just repost it without checking what it is, whether it is original, not original. There is no value addition that you are doing, and then it becomes viral, slowly and slowly viral. But at the start, was it good, was it bad? It's not there.
Okay, I believe he is having some issue. Then we would like to request Anshuman sir to continue.
Let's wait for some time.
Okay, I think he is having some network issue.
Give him 2 minutes, maybe he wants to finish it.
Sure. No, we'll be continuing after that. Yes, sir. Okay, sir joined.
I'm so sorry about the network connection. It's slightly weak at my end. Uh, I think I lost you somewhere here on this slide. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just two more slides. That's all. Then we can have more
Sure,
discussions
sir.
on this. I've just kept it very simple. The thing you would have actually read about it in the business school. You would have read of algorithms of social media giants. How do these algorithms of these social media companies work? They work on what you like. Suppose you like something. Suppose there is an issue happening. You like something. They want to see what your bent of mind is there. Then they slowly start showing you the same stuff that you like, because they want to retain your viewership. They want to retain your presence on their platform. Well, they'll start showing you what you like. Similar things you'll start seeing. So you just think about it, ponder about it. You have a thought in mind. It's not fully formed yet, but you are researching it, you are finding about it. Then you go on to these social media sites and these platforms. Suppose Facebook or Twitter or Insta is showing you the similar stories. That thought which had formed in your mind starts getting cemented without getting any counter views onto it, unless and until you take a lot of efforts to find counter views. If you're just browsing, if you're just seeing, your viewers, your thoughts are getting formed, you know so it is aggravating your thought process. Your originality is getting challenged. It is helping you to think in a certain way just because that first thought came into your mind. That first thought which came into your mind, based on which you started doing your research, it started cementing in your process. So these are the questions that you need to ask, how it is influencing people and the society that we are in. Violence wing and criminal action. A lot of people say that kids are playing games which have a lot of violence in it, and it is affecting and it will lead them to become criminals. Let me tell you, I've done some research on it. There are actually no authentic studies which claim that this relationship is true. It is not. But yet we find that the more you see violence, the more you are you know aggravated or biased towards doing a criminal action. It is not there. No more studies are there. Then this obesity in children is a point that we need to ask. Throughout, they are there on the world, more forced because of COVID. Whether it is actually happening, not happening, not enough research is there. I have not seen it around. One important point that you would have thought, you would have gone through your life, you will always see that in the social media world, there's a portrayal of a perfect world. There's nothing wrong, everything is perfect. You see your models, you see your role models, perfect. Everybody who's there, who's putting out a story, putting out a picture, putting out a part of their life, is only portraying the good things. There's nothing bad happening. So you feel that in your life, if something is going bad, why is it happening with you, not with anybody else? Everybody else is happy, I am not. These are certain things. I do not have enough data. I've not made it as a theoretical slide wherein we can discuss about this, but these are things about discussions. When we move ahead, we can discuss about these things, and you will have questions, we can have answers for it. So the way forward, which I feel, is that we need to evolve. We can't put a restriction because there are pitfalls in it. Looking at the pitfalls, we say, no, we'll not use technology, we'll not go advancement in technologies. However, at the same time, we need to be conscious of the pitfalls that are there. There are no clear-cut answers. There is no black world, there is no white world. The entire world is gray. We need to stay in this gray zone. We need to apply our mind, and we need to move forward. Technology advancement is here to stay. It is up to us what we extract out of it and how do we extract the best out of it. That's all my perspective on technology and media that we had. And then as we go forward, we can discuss when we have the discussions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful words, sir. Now I'd like to request Anshuman sir to continue. Please, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sethwinderjeet, for a fantastic presentation. I think you have almost covered all, and thanks for that. So, good afternoon to all of you once again, and thanks for inviting me to this conclave. I like to say that I'm really delighted to be a part of it. So, just in correction, I'm not a pass out of IBS Hyderabad, but I passed out from IBS Bombay. So, currently, I'm working in ENY and I'm based out of Assam. So I don't have a presentation as such, because I thought it was more kind of a discussion. So I'll just cover few points with regard to social media. I just give a gist of how technology is changing the way you use media, and second, what are different trends that is happening, and also what are different its effects, be it positive or negative. Okay, so I'll go. So if you see, the social media and technology have evolved, tremendously over the last 2 decades. So 20 years ago, the whole situation of media and communication was completely different, I would say. So if you see the print media was to be the main source for obtaining news about the other side of the world. So, and later the internet became, a bridge that brought people closer together, I would say. So today, if you see, we have new advancements like, be it YouTube, be it Google, be it social media, other platforms like blogs, podcasts, etc. So today, anyone can easily film something and just put it on the net, and then see, to reach hundreds and thousands of people. So the amount of active, if you see at today's age, if you see the data, amount of active users is around more than 3 billion people. What estimated that has been estimated, I would say, and almost 2 million smartphones are sold all over the world on a daily basis. So the amount of information we share on the social media networks has become phenomenal. If you compare it 20 years ago, what we have right now. Now let's see what are the major trends that is happening. That's driving media. The first, I think, it will be mass digitalization. So I mean to say, if you see 10 years down the line, so digital will replace print. It is inevitable. The cost of technology will continue to drop, and the devices that are used to digest media will get more advanced and convenient, I would feel. Second, I would say, apart from that, you have freelance mania. If you see the websites like Outsource, Upwork, and Contently.com, with companies like this, you are getting freelance writers from them. So the media companies can take advantage of them, and then the framework and the keep cost much lower and the profit margins higher, I would say. Now coming to the new technologies like VR and AR, the VR, you might be aware about these two technologies. The VR recreates the environments, and while AR enhances physical images. So these two industries, if you see, they've outgrown, upside by side, I would say, and have gained new emphasis in recent years. The rise of mobile video and virtual reality and AR, and the more refined use of data analytics, per se, has really influenced the use of digital media. And third, I would say the generational shifts. The millennials is the major driving force I can recommend, because they treat the information as well as the content much differently than other generations before them. So I think they are brought up with more information and access to more data as what used to be earlier. So, but good news is that millennials really value authenticity, and they just don't subscribe to content just like that. So I think the companies needs to be open, honest for that. Fourth and fifth, I will believe the proliferation of mobile devices have happened rapidly. What I've told, 20 million smartphones are sold daily all across the globe, and also the IT spending in media has increased. If you see, basically the organizations their goal is not to outspend the competition, but it's to spend more of their technology dollars on strategic initiatives, I would say. Now, these are the things which I have described about the drivers of digital media: IT spending, proliferation, new technologies, and also the freelance mania, as well as the generational shifts. Now, coming to the main topic, how the usage of media is changing, how technology is changing the way we use media. Okay, so first, if you see the positive ones, I would say the first is politics. The influence of, if you see, the social media and political campaigns has increased tremendously. If you see, there's a study that the more you see the news, the more you become opinionated. Okay, So media changed the political game. I mean to say, even the new voters, I mean to say, the participants can directly speak to the voters. So, and second, if you see on a society level, how the usage of media is changing. If suppose Anshuman has some kind of marginal view, I don't agree to something, so I can form groups, I can form opinions about something, and then I can publish in the net, I can put in the portal, and it can, that same can be channelized, I would say. So even if you see the smart TVs, we are encouraged to tweet, text, or call to vote for the participants. So this is really helping. This is the positive effects which I am emphasizing on. And even you see the e-commerce, businesses have realized that they can use social media to generate insights, stimulate demand, and create targeted product offerings. Okay. Now, coming to the fourth point, the world of work. So, see, for example, the kind of media, the social media has a profound, I believe, on recruitment and hiring. If you see the professional networks such as LinkedIn, these are important social media platforms for anyone to stand out in their profession. So they allow people to create and market a personal brand out of that. So I think that is the third positive thing which with regard to usage of media. Fourth, I can say, for example, in training and development, if you see the blogs, if you consider the wikis, Twitter, Facebook, and podcast also, they are now common tools for learning in many educational institutions. What I have seen, social media has contributed to the increase in the long distance online learning. Now comes to the challenges. What kind of challenges you have with regard to the negative effects? So as Sethwinder ji has told, cyberbullying is one of the major threat, I would say, in today's age. The teenagers basically can use the media platforms to spread, rumors. To share videos aimed at destroying reputations and to blackmail others. So this is one of the threat that needs to be adhered to. Second, I feel the lack of privacy is also there. There are large incidents of stalking, identity theft, personal attacks, and misuse of information. So most of the time, I believe the users themselves are to blame, as they share content that should not be in the public eye. So I think lack of privacy and cyberbullying two of the most important challenges. Apart from that, if you see today, if you open Facebook or any other platform, social media platform, the organizations they are pushing for sales without engaging with customers. So I think all falling to respond to any negative feedback. So that is one of the most negative effects of usage of social media, because it might damage your reputation. If you are chasing someone without knowing what their need is, definitely it's going to backfire, what I feel. And the fourth point, I think, is unrealistic expectations. As most people probably know by now, social media forms have, the media have unrealistic expectations of life and friendships in our minds. I feel most social media sites have a severe lack of online authenticity. FOMO, you might have heard about this word FOMO, the fear of missing out. So it's kind of a form of anxiety that you have, when you miss out on a positive experience. Somebody else is enjoying, but you are not enjoying that. So it also causes anxiety and depression. So this is one of these excessive side effects of usage of media with regard to the negative side. So that's my I would say my discussion on this point. So in a nutshell, I would say social media is going to be a game changer, but there needs to be some kind of a break on that with regard to this usage, with regard to negative effects. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to request to Vishal sir to continue. Welcome.
Hi, thank you everyone. And my name is Vishal. I have been at IBS-Hyderabad once before too, so this is my second time. I can see some similar faces now. Satyajit has grown, I think. And thank you so much, Anshumanji and Mr. Singh. You have done the heavy lifting for me, so I just need to make some funny jokes now, because you have done everything. I think you covered all. So I will start with what Anshuman said about technology 20 years back. So when we go back to the 2000s, maybe 2001, 2, 3, let's talk about 2003. It was the saddest year, I think, because India lost that World Cup final to Australia. And that was, I think, a heartbreaking moment for all the Indians. And then there was some rumors also, right, that Gilchrist was using some some bat that has some kind of a technology in it. So that was something, that was a time when, if you talk about newspaper, so a general audience used to go to the newspaper. They will be highlighted in a newspaper when they want to change their name. So you have to go to the Gazette office, and they will ask you to publish your new name in the newspaper. And that's if somebody has some opposition to it, he or she can contact you. So that was the only time when a general audience can be featured in a newspaper. When we talk about radio at that time, the only way you could be on a radio was you go for they will ask you to give a request of a song. So you will call them. It used to be a very long queue. So it was not like you simply call and your song will be picked. So you would be on call. You have to try for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. You're consistently trying them, and maybe at that time, once in a while they will pick your call and you will say, I want to dedicate this particular song to my family, my friends. That is how you used to be on radio. And on TV, you either should be scoring runs on the field, or you were a very big tycoon kind of a thing. Otherwise, to be on TV was something, if you are on a TV, whole area would know you. Even if one person among the whole family has ever been on a TV. For example, I still remember one of my cousin was a background crowd in one of the Amitabh Bachchan's movie, and everybody in the area knew him, that he was on TV. So that was kind of a hype at that time. To be on, to be a face on a media was a very, very big thing. So, and as Mr. Singh said, that technology made it easier. So this is exactly what technology do. It doesn't bring a lot of new things. What it do, it makes the old things easier. So what it did in 2010, if we compare, if we come in the 2010, 2011. So at that time, Orkut was there. I'm not sure many of you have, if you have heard about Orkut. So it was one of the social media platforms where people from my generation would go and, use Scrap to connect to the new friends. It was a very big thing. It was seriously a very big thing. We will use that Orkut. We will wait for the new messages. We will see the pictures. We will upload the picture. We will see how many likes we get on a picture. So that was kind of a moment when people started coming out in the public. And if we talk about videos, it was YouTube. But of course, we were not using, in 2010, people were not creating a lot of videos. But yes, they started consuming that kind of content. So that is the time when, which gave the nutshell to the social media that you currently see. So that was the time that, created the kind of a base for everything that you see right now. People started coming up, and they wanted some kind of a content. So there were videos, even if it will take you say 10 minutes to watch a video, it will buffer first, but people were still waiting for that time. I remember it very correctly. We used to download songs from fake websites, and it was a nightmare, because sometimes it will take 30 minutes, 1 hour to even download single song, but we were waiting for that. So that was kind of a period where people wanted a content. And then in the 2015, 16, 17, it just boomed. New things came up, Facebook was everywhere, and then comes the YouTube golden era, then now TikTok. So everything came up, and now if you see in the current scenario, my mom called me, just 2 hours back, and she said to me that, aapke wahan pe barf girne wala hai, and I saw that on the Facebook. So, the technology has made the media very much accessible to everyone. And when we say media now, we actually have to talk about the community. So it is not the media that is building up, it is the communities that are building up. So when we say Facebook, when we say LinkedIn, when we say Twitter, so all the audience on these particular platforms are not using these as a platforms, but as a community. So they have a community there, right? So if you want to look for a job, you're going for a LinkedIn. If you are one of a person who cannot write a lot but has a very powerful kind of a writing sense to you, you go to the Twitter. If you are the one who wants to be on camera, you go to the Instagram. So these are communities. These are no more social medias, because social media means a platform for everyone. But now these are communities because they have different contents. They knew that we have to provide something different. So that is how I think technology has affected media. And yes, there are good things, there are bad things. And when I say negative thing about what it has impacted is, now we have camera in our bedrooms, right? In our bed, actually, not even bedroom, in our bed. So our privacy is indeed something that we need to be very careful about. And it is very volatile situation right now. As Anshuman said, that you could be hero in a minute and you could be a villain in a minute. So this is kind of a world that we are currently living in. You could be a sensation, you could be a viral in any moment of the time. You even don't know who somebody else recorded you and you became the sensation, and maybe somebody else recorded you and you are the worst villain of the century. And so things are such volatile right now, and I think although I'm like, to be very frank and to be honest, I think I am more into the pro sides, and in the negative side, I will say that we need to be careful, because everything has a negative side, right? What beautiful things I see is that a person who is at home, the mothers who are trying to sell online, now they can go to the Facebook, they can show that I have my pickles ready, you can buy it from me. So a person, a mother in her 70s, 80s, sitting at home making pickles, the pickle is going to the other side of the country. So that is a beautiful thing, right? It was not the case 15 years back even. So if you need to sell something, it was a very big task. So being a businessman, being an entrepreneur, it was something of a challenge kind of a thing. So people usually don't do that. I think at that moment of the time, entrepreneurship at the max means opening a shop. So that's the best you can do. You open a shop, sometimes people pick the business that their dad owned, and sometimes they will create a new kind of shop, but that was all about entrepreneurship. But now when I see it, everybody has a fair chance of doing things. And that is, I think, the beauty of technology that made media very accessible to us.
Thank you so much, speakers. That was like indeed very much enriching. So while we are talking about media, and while again we are talking about an aspect of marketing, while we're connecting technology, so how can you define the function of product advertising in new media? So we're starting with Singh sir first, then we'll be going to Anshuman sir and Vishal sir.
See, nice. First, let me comment on great talk by Anshuman and Vishal, both of them. A lot of new points that you brought about. Now, your point on product advertising, one of my favorite topics. Product advertising, actually, you see with the present concept of media, social media as well as normal media. If you realize that other than the normal set patterns of social media, that are few companies, that are Facebook, Twitter, internet is a very, very, very big medium for product advertising. As in, when you need to see marketing, you need to see product advertising. And Vishal rightly brought out a very key concept of blogs, a very key concept of communities. It is not restricted only to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram or any other. These are the hyped ones, these are known ones. But there is a very, very big and a fast-paced growing community of communities, wherein blogs or different interests and all. So this is actually the future. Internet was the present future 10 years back. Internet is the future 10 years hence, and will be the future 10 years from now. This is the only mode of communicating, Internet 2.0, Internet 3.0, 4.0, it will keep evolving like that. So product, that's why I said it's a very, very big spiral. People want to be on the platforms, people want to be on the internet, and hence your product needs to be there, because you have to make your product visible. So the advertising has to be where your consumer is there. Your consumer needs to see your product. Your marketing has to be there. You cannot market your product in silos. As Anshuman rightly brought out, that the newspapers will be a gone era. You cannot think that I will be doing my marketing in printed media and leave the digital media away. You have to have your presence there. The data analytics which Anshuman brought out is a very, very key factor, which is all the industries today adopting to see where and what are the interests of the people. What type of community is present on what platform? Which medium are they present on? So you need to pitch your product there. When you segment your product, where you need to sell it, hence will flow wherein your marketing will happen. So the products need to be there. So there's no two-way about it, that the advancements in technologies have to be kept pace with when you do your advertising and your marketing for products. That's my take.
Thank you so much, sir. Anshuman, sir, please.
Yeah, so advertising your products with different kinds of media has its own advantages and disadvantages. What Sethwinderjeet has just told. So we can do it, press advertising or the print media, which is, be it newspaper advertising or any other advertising through print media, I mean to say. But it has various limitations also, because the life of if you see the newspaper advertisement is very short. People read it for a very short period of time. And newspaper advertisement, if you see, is successful only when the people to be communicated are really educated. Okay. And they're also less effective as compared to be it film or audio visual advertisements. And also similar thing happens in magazine advertising, what organizations are doing. So they also have a lot of limitations. For example, the circulation of magazines is very generally smaller as compared to the newspapers, and they have to be sent for publication well in advance. But I feel the product advertising, if you can do some kind of outdoor advertising, be it poster displays, or if you have some kind of billboard displays, which all electric displays, vehicle displays, a lot of innovative technologies are there where you can advertise your product. But it's also criticized. I mean, just everything has merits and demerits, I would say. It can't carry long messages. If you see the outside billboards, it has to be interpreted, and it is also a low retention value. So, and third, I think you can do it on film advertising. That's an important medium advertisement, to get a short motion picture kind of and distribute it to cinema houses. But the merits are it's very effective, I would say. It can advertise its products in the areas where they want to target. But also, I think its demerits with regard to it's ignored by the people who are busy in talking. So it's only limited to a few people. So, and also, I think I missed out on radio advertising, also very effective. Nowadays, people listen to radio a lot. So I think radio can be done. This is one of the unique way of advertising your products. But same thing, it can't be, the detailed images or the messages can't be transmitted over radio. So these are my viewpoints with regard to product advertising, in different kinds of media. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Vishal, sir, please.
Thank you both the speakers. And it is indeed a very good question. And when we speak about product advertisement, we have to talk about data analytics. We have to understand how, now a manufacturer is understanding the audience. So it is, learning the insight of the audience. Now, when I advertise something, it is not just for any of the mass. It is for a particular people. They know what they are targeting. So they are not just targeting everyone. They are not just saying that let's target a particular, 100,000 people in a particular area. They are saying let's target these people with these interests, with these, age and this kind of passion about this. So, for example, if they know that Mr. Singh, loves to shop accessories, so they know what to target, what kind of products they have to target. and they know the emotions even now. So for example, when you go to the different websites, they track you down, they know that what kind of emotions you currently have in. So for example, if you are going to the website, say Satyajit for example is going for a date, and he is going to the websites and learning what gifts I should buy for my girlfriend. And that is how the producers know that what we have to sell to Satyajit. So in the Facebook, now Satyajit will start looking at new ads coming up for flowers or chocolates or many other things. So now they know the emotions that you are currently in, and that is the beauty of data analytics, because it gives you the target. And I think this has a great chance of selling also. So it has increased, and it has now given a fair chance of selling. Also, to the buyer, it is also beneficial, because now, as I said, it is more about community now. So in a community, when somebody purchase something, he or she writes a very genuine review about it. So when you are purchasing better, because now for example, Satyajit has brought a perfume from a company online, and now one of the other friend of Satyajit see that the perfume was good. Satyajit has posted a review on it, so he will be more likely to purchase it. So even the purchases are more confident, even the selling is more confident. So I think it's good for both, and now the consumer is not choosing the product, it is the product that is choosing the customer. So that is now the beauty of technology in advertisement.
Thank you very much for the wonderful words to all the case speakers. It was indeed enriching. So while we are talking about public opinion, because online media is more into public opinion, and also Vishal sir mentioned about the reviews. So the question we are having, like the MBA students are having, is so the influence of mass media in a technology, how big it is, and how big it is shaping the general public opinion. And one more question I would like to add is, like, while we are talking about general public opinion, there are also some rumors going on in the internet. There are sometimes some valuable information is also coming. So how to segregate both the things? And we'll be starting with Shatwinder sir again.
Yeah, I'll take the second question first. Segregation of information. That's a huge task. That's why I said, once you have a thought in your mind, and with that thought, when you start searching and when you be on the media, you like something which resembles with your thought, you are slowly and slowly cementing your thoughts. You're not taking counter views. You're not taking counter thoughts. So if you believe in a rumor, you go to two different sites or two different opinions of different people on that rumor. You slowly and slowly start seeing those type of news. Suppose we not go to the extreme of riots or something. We just go to the extreme about some incident, some rumor has happened in your locality, in your city. You start seeing those data. So there will be 3-4 different type of channels which will be there on the same platform itself. Different type. We are all human beings, we have different thoughts, we have different mindsets, we think differently. So what the platform is doing is it's grouping those kind of similar people. As Anshuman brought out the politics thing, when how is politics using it? It's opinionating you, you are doing a big divide. You would not have seen this feature, or you would not have seen this 5 years back. This was not there. That big divide, whether you are a hardcore black or you are a hardcore white. Nobody used to ask that. But today, because of this algorithms which the platforms have, they are opinionating you. And so you have to be very careful. That's what I said. You have to use your brain, use your judgment to segregate different types of information, not go with the flow. So base or your character comes into the play. And I'm sorry, what was the first question that you asked? The question before that?
So how the general opinion is like actually impacting on the media?
See, general opinion, as Vishal has brought out, the general opinion, obviously that's the technology is the way that thing is in, Today, suppose you go to Amazon and you look for a product. then you go back to Google or go back to your Facebook. Those things are linked. You see similar kind of advertisements there on this. So your opinions on what the companies are trying to capture your data. As I told you, if it is free, then the product is you. That's why these things are free for you. So the product is you. They're using your data, your profile, your generic information, your where you stay, which area do you stay, what is your age profile, whether you're male, whether you're female, what are your likings. They're clubbing that kind of data to present you that kind of information. As Shal said, when you're going on a date, and as you kind of start seeing that similar things there. So your opinion, this because of this big companies being there who have the wherewithal, the power of data to analyze that data and to present that to you, it actually gives a bias. If I tell you that no, there is no bias when you're surfing the net and you form crystal clear opinions about things, no, it is not the case. So this you have to keep in mind, that the opinions will get formulated. Companies have to sell things. Where else will they sell things? If you are tomorrow, if you go to say Delhi, visit Karol Bagh, the companies are sitting in Karol Bagh. But if you're not going to Karol Bagh and buying stuff, you are sitting on an HP laptop and buying things on internet, companies will be there on the internet to track you down. What kind of things you like. You place yourself, you are MBA students, tomorrow you go to a company, you have a product, your manager tells you, I want sales of so many crores or so many products I want to sell 1,000 products today. How do you have information that where are you going to sell those products? Where are you going to get that data? Now with these worlds wherein the world is so much connected and internet is a beautiful platform, you take out data from there. So you as let's not talk about from the consumer side, let's talk about from the industry side. Tomorrow all of you are MBA students, you're going to join companies, and companies are there for business. Companies are going to sell their product or their service, whichever company you join. So how are you going to sell it? You are going to sell it by using this data where the consumer is there. You're going to take out data, you're going to see what type might consumer is there, you're going to segment them, partition them, and sell the product to them. Or if you are introducing a new product, you need to know their interests, what their interests, what do they like. Do that survey and get back the product to them. So these are the opinions that both sides, it's both the consumer side also as well as the company side also. Example, if I remember recently, there was a case study on Mom and Me. If you know, there are products, Mom and Me, which sell beautiful products for the ladies that are there. So if you need to come out with a new product and you need to form opinions for the consumer for that, you need to do that advertisement. You need to show how it affects it. You need to show how it relates to that consumer, right? So this is how you form opinions. It's both sides, both as consumer as well as in the industry.
Thank you very much, sir. Anshuman, sir, your views on the same.
Yeah, so coming to the second question first. So I think as a generation, I think we treat information and content much differently than other generations before us, I think. So we have so much access to data and all within our instant reach. So I feel this overexposure has caused us to be extra cautious of anything that is written or delivered in different media. So I think we value authenticity and more likely to subscribe to something than compared to other generations. So I think so media companies also needs to be very open, transparent, and produce powerful content. So there are few straight out people who subscribe to content. So I think mass knowledge building exercise has to be done in terms of social media, be it be it in educational curriculum, or I think there has to be some kind of knowledge building exercise has to be done, because there are two different strata of people who form opinions and who research and then form opinions. So I think that has to be adhered to. Second, I think technology will definitely, whatever you have opinion, then definitely they will target that. So as an organization or any other organization, they are doing various projects for different state governments. Considering I'm in consulting, so what they are doing, they're measuring the sentiment analysis of different all the citizens, all the, I mean to say, people of a particular state, and they're doing different kind of analysis, opinions with regard to how the honorable CM is doing in different projects, how the fund is coming, whether they're happy with the government or not, and they are tagging the GPS of particular areas. Suppose, for example, in Assam, so there are suppose around X amount of people, and they are divided to zones, and they form opinion polls and tag to GPS. They're getting the data analysis of that, and they're doing it that this section of people from this region is not happy with the government. So they are forming some kind of opinions to target those people. So this is going on everywhere. So opinion will be there, technology will be there. So I think they are, social media and technology are both interlinked. I think technology is helping social media, and social media is also helping technology, I think. So now technology is more focused on AI driven technologies to be put into the system before the social media drive all this AI based technology that needs to be driven into the system. So I think it will continue for a long period of time, at least in our lifetime. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much. Mr. Vishal Bhadwatsar, please.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is indeed a very nice question. And as Anshuman and Mr. Singh said, they both covered a lot of topics. And what I will say very boldly is that, you are not controlling internet. Internet is actually controlling you. So if you look at whether you accept it, whether you not accept it, internet is actually controlling you. There is nothing, by chance here. So you are not purchasing anything by chance. You are not going to a website by chance. This is all algorithmic. There is every script is written. You are already what I can say, you are already a customer of them. So whoever, whatever content, even if you are consuming, they know you. So when you go to their website, they understand you, who you are, what your IP address is, what kind of cookies. When you click on that, I accept all the cookies and of the website. You are telling them who you are, and then they will be chasing you. Even if you don't know they are chasing you, they are chasing you everywhere, whatever website you go to, right? And as Mr. Singh was talking about, when you as a student of MBA, you would be going to the companies now after your college, and you would be selling either products or services. So on that particular thing, I will like to say that nowadays companies are not selling product or services. They're absolutely not interested in selling products, neither products nor services. They want to sell emotions. So now CCTV, for example, take CCTV camera manufacturers. So they are not, selling CCTV cameras. They are selling security. So when they go to the customer, they are saying that, we have, you are purchasing security from us. So you are not just purchasing a camera that can record the things. You are purchasing the surety of security in your home. On the same way, for example, you go to the car manufacturers. So now they are not just giving you a car, which means, a transport which go from point A to point B. They are now selling you luxury, right? So whenever you go to a car manufacturer, you come up with a budget, and they will tell you what kind of luxury you can afford in it. So when you are purchasing something, we are purchasing emotions. Even if let's talk about edutech. So now even edutech is not selling education; it is selling aspirations. Let's talk about it, right? Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. So now, as a customer, we are not purchasing products or services. We are purchasing emotions right now, and that is the thing that has changed a lot now. It was not used to be the same 15 years back, 20 years back, but now it has changed. We both, we all must be having a lot of different brands preferences, because that brand give us that kind of satisfaction to us. Right. Now people don't just buy a particular thing for a particular use. They buy a particular thing for a particular emotion. They want a chandelier in their house. They want, beautiful walls. So now they are not purchasing paint or lighting things. They are purchasing the kind of emotions that they can buy from that money. So that is, I think, has changed a lot, and that is how social media has impacted a lot with the help of technology. And I think this is going to a very definite direction, and a lot of big things are coming up. For example, in VR, they are coming up, and very soon I am sure that VR would be in e-commerce, and then it will be a very different game. because now they know the customers, now they know what to sell to what, and it is just a cheese, cutting a cheese problem.
Thank you so much, sir. So, on this note, the last question I'll be having is, while we are talking about emotional buyers, is it like technology has helped to get more revenue through emotional buyers? And the same time, while we are talking about complex buying behavior, like the rational buyers, that is in B2B, is the technology similarly successful? Or if not, then what is the road ahead? So I'll be starting with Satwinder sir, then again we'll follow the process.
Yeah, see, as Vishal brought out, technology is here to stay, and as I said earlier in my slide also, technology creates media. It is technology that created this social media. Social media was not available. And when Anshuman said for old days, Orkut was our Facebook. In my days, Orkut was the Facebook when it started way back then. But what helped Orkut do it? There were chat rooms. There used to be chat rooms, and then how technology got developed. So this technology, which is there to, you are saying, to help this emotional buyer as well as the B2B buyer, right? Whether they can take a rational decision, it is helping both ways. An emotional buyer which is there, maybe emotional, when a person is emotional, he does not take rational decision, then these companies will overpower, that so much of data, so much of advertisement, so much of similar advertisement, an emotional buyer will go and buy that product. But if you compare a B2B buyer, for example, a company which is there, when it's got the power of technology, power of internet with it, it will take a rational decision by comparing things, because everything is available. The data is available on the net. It can compare, it can evaluate, and it can see whether this product meets my need or not, whether this company meets my need or not. No, gone are the days when company was viewed when this company is selling only a product or not. These days, whether a company is ethical, whether its company is following the government norms, whether the company is following or taking care of the environment, all these factors also get into the listed. Tomorrow, when TCS or Infosys as a big company gives an order to a smaller company, it looks at these factors also. You would be studying terms like ESG in your syllabuses and in your curriculum. These are important aspects wherein these factors have also started coming into play. So where do you get data for that? Where do you evaluate as a B2B company whether this company is authentic, whether this company is doing good stuff, whether this company is taking care of the environment as well, whether this company is taking care of the laborers that they're involving? Yes, this is when Zara goes and takes subcontracts from a manufacturer, it goes and checks into all these things. The Tata tea, which is there, when it goes to check from an employer where it is buying coffee beans there, it is checking whether that coffee bean manufacturer is helping the village from where the coffee is being purchased or not. So this technology is a very, very big, as I said, this technology is here to stay, and it is for us to take the maximum advantage out of it. And as Vishal rightly brought out, that there are much more positives than negatives. But those negatives we have to take a conscious call on. We need to evaluate it, and we need to keep them at bay so that the negatives stay low and the positives stay high. That's all.
Thank you so much, sir. Anshuman sir, please.
So I think rightly pointed by Satwinder ji. I think so. The brands, if you see, they are increasingly utilizing emotional targeting for marketing their products. If you see different ads like for the cardiac and all, so it's kind of an emotional target. So targeting, I would say. So it's steadily gaining traction, and also poses several benefits. But if you see any B2B, what Satwinder ji has told, for example, I'm into government consulting. If any government wants to purchase something, so they don't go as per the sentiment unless until it is very, I mean to say, something specific to someone. But unless until they are, I think they are always rational in terms of their decision making processes. So it relates to number of funds, amount of funds they have, what kind of service we will give. So I don't think in that space, I think B2B space coming to us, I think it will emotional targeting will help. But at least in the consumer space, I think the kind of the targeting that is happening in the consumer space is phenomenal. I think there's a lot of studies where it says the neuroscience supports emotional targeting. So emotion assists calling one in calling their shots. So I think it helps in it's really helpful in allowing a person to click the order button and place an order. So it proves that actually. So that's my point.
Thank you so much. Vishal sir, please.
Yeah. When we talk about this, there is a very interesting thing that is happening right now in customer and manufacturer ecosystem. So now the manufacturers knew that there are two types of customers. First, a customer who is only a purchaser, so a kind of a customer who do not sell anything, only purchase. So those people were very easy targets because those people could be emotionally targeted through data analytics. They knew that these are the easy picks, and because they only purchase things, they do not sell things, so it is easier for us to sell to them. And then there was second customers who were also manufacturers in a way. So for example, if you are purchasing shirts from somewhere and then you are selling jeans to somewhere, so you could be a tougher customer for me because you know the trade, you know how marketing is happening, you know the deep secrets of the trade. So for me it was harder to sell to you because you are also at the end of the day a seller somewhere else, right? So what I did was I thought of like why to bifurcate my selling techniques into B2B or B2C. What I did was I said, let's go H to H, human to human. Let's become more human to each other. And how they did it? They again used media for it. They again used technology for it. They started WhatsApp. WhatsApp marketing started. Your customer now would be in directly touch with you. So now when a manufacturer is talking to a customer, they feel more connected. They think a human, we are buying from a human, there is a human touch. Then there comes this Skype and Zoom calls, video calls. So now everything is so humanly, artificially humanly in this particular segment to cater that hard, customer base, because they knew that it is going to be hard to sell to somebody who is also a seller. Right. So for that, they use the technology, and we use the technology, and we use it very beautifully. And as Mr. Singh and Anshuman has said, that this is going to stay. To be very frank, you like it, you don't like it, technology will be here. So either you change it according to that, or you stay behind and you keep looking and you keep complaining why my business is falling down. It is as simple as that.
Thank you very much, all the honorable speakers, for your wonderful insights about the topic. And we really learned a lot about technology and how media houses operates. And we also learned a lot about the business aspects. And now, on this note, we'd like to hand over the stage to the anchor so that we can have some Q&A from the audience. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, our guests, for the wonderful news that you shared. Now the floor is open for the questions, and participants, you can post your questions in the chat box.
Okay, so we have the first question from the audience. They have asked that does the development of the internet in a country increase the level of objectivity and independence of the media?
And I would like to ask any of the panel members to, the guest speakers, to come and answer the question.
Hitesh, what do you mean by objectivity? Independence of the media, I understand, The dependence, the development of internet for independence of media, I totally understand. But what do you mean by objectivity? Do you mean they are taking rational decisions or rational news making or irrational news making? Do you mean that?
Yes, so rational, irrational. Also, like whenever they are pointing out to some of the news, like they are objectifying that media portal published that kind of news. So that kind of thing they are objectifying according to the situation.
See, development of internet always is an important factor, or more than development of internet is access to internet. Yes, in a country, you can compare a country like China, or you can compare a country like Russia, where there is, limited access to internet. Obviously, the media, the way it portrays things, the way the people come to know about things has an effect. More than development of the internet, it is access to internet that is more important. It more the reach of the internet which is there, increases the level of objectivity. As I said, it depends on you when you are taking the news, as what type of news that you are looking at. You need to put your thoughts where the news is coming, whether it is authentic, whether it is not authentic, biased, not biased. These are not easy decisions when you are, when I said ease and time factors that you have. It is not easy to judge whether a news is there or not, but that all these things have to be taken with a pinch of salt. And then slowly and slowly you realize, why is the media or the media houses being governed or being taken up by the rich and powerful? This is because a small and simple fact that today internet is the only place where data is getting generated. Everybody wants to have a pie of that data. So the type of news that is also shown to you or will be, when the data analytics will reach up to a level, it is already in process. The typical type of news which you would like to see would be shown to you. So all these things are being controlled. Yes, development of internet always has an effect.
Got it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we have another question in the queue. The question is, what will be the potential use of artificial intelligence in media in the near future?
I would like to answer this question if my fellow speakers allow. Okay, so this is indeed a very good question, and I was thinking about it when I read this question, and what came into my mind was how the things has changed. Earlier, how used to we do is we will go to the store, right? We will go to the store to purchase something. Then came the recent era where the seller will come to us. So now we will be shown products at our home, sitting in our bed. We will be shown products. Okay, you can buy this, you can buy that. Things like that. The future is AI, because in the near future, you won't be asked whether you want to purchase or not. It will be purchased. So now in the future, for example, your toilet paper is going out. A toilet paper would be sent to your address, and it will be sent to you that your toilet paper must be consumed by right now. You don't have toilet papers left in your home. We already sent it to you. We will be debiting the money from your credit card already. So don't do anything. You just use the toilet paper. So this is AI. That is the future. I mean, like, really, this is going to happen, and maybe it is already started happening. It is not for the toilet papers right now. It is for your mobile bills. It is for your electricity bills. You have already set it on auto pay. So whenever the bill is generated, it is automatically deducted from your credit or debit cards. In the future, it will be coming to everything, even the smallest part of everything. Your health is already right. So when you are using your Apple Watch, they are tracking your fitness things. So maybe when, for example, right now what they are saying is that if you get any emergency, if we see that your BP level is increasing at that much, we might be able to call an emergency services. Maybe in the future, what they will do is, maybe because your sugar level is high, you are purchasing this bad product. Rather than this particular product, we will ask you to purchase this particular product which has low sugar intakes, right? So this is the future of AI, and this is how it is going to be. Was
Thank
I
you.
audible? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, our esteemed guests, for their wonderful answers. We have a question.
Uh, yes, sir. Good evening, sir. So my question is, like, how even like Vishal sir told right now that for everything we're using technology, and as humans right now we're highly dependent. Like, if you see right now we have quick commerce and everything coming up, right? And it's actually it's going to go in future a lot. But the thing is, sir, when the technology has so many advantages, I mean, definitely it does have a lot of negative impact on us also. Like, we are, as humans, we are going away from each other and we are more dependent on technology to do our things, right? But the thing is, so since we say the technology is good, but are we going in the right direction? Because if we are getting good, we are also getting the bad in that technology. I mean, I wouldn't say there is any way to ensure that that, I mean, the technology is already doing good, but I also feel that it's actually also doing a lot of negative thing on humans. So is there a way, like, are we going in the right direction, or that's my question. So
So can I take this uh, question?
Yeah, please
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Please go ahead.
No, Anshuman, would love to first hear you, and then maybe I will be happy to join.
Yeah. So I think it's a very pertinent question. Experts, but what I feel, there are a lot of statistics and data. Even we have, as an organization, we have published a lot of thought papers on that. The rise of artificial intelligence, I think, will make most people, better off over the next decade. So, but many have concerns about how advances in AI will affect and what it means to be human, to be productive and to exercise free will. Okay, so AI has its own, limitations with regard to the connections they are going to have. The AI, as per our report, AI, can't be everywhere. I mean to say, for example, I am into, business development of consulting. I operate from Assam and look after eastern states. For me, AI is very difficult to, overpower us in the near future. Okay, but digital life is, if you see, it's augmenting human capacities and disrupting the old human activities. If you see the code-driven systems which are there, they have spread to more than half of the world's inhabitants in ambient information and connectivity. But as the AI continues to spread, will the people be better off than they are today? It's very doubtful. It's a lot of things needs to be discussed on that. As you know, there is a report where around 1,000 pioneers, innovators, and developers, policy leaders have published one report. So they have predicted, that artificial intelligence, all this technology will amplify human effectiveness, but it is also, some kind of threaten human autonomy, agency, and capabilities. But it depends where the field will be. Okay, they have spoken about the wide-ranging possibilities. The computers might, match or even exceed the human intelligence, and also, compete with different decision making, reasoning, and learning processes. Be it speech recognitions, farming, business processes, everywhere. Then also the healthcare, in diagnosing the patients, it might overtake the doctors also at one point of time. But yet, if regardless of whether they are optimistic or not, about the long-term impact which we're going to have, AI, I think, would leave people better off or not. That is the main question. So many have shared deep worries, but I think we need to believe on our own that AI will not overpower us in the near future. So there some remedies are there. So there, for example, if you see the report of that which I have studied, day to day, I think last week. So they have shared deep worries. I mean, a lot of policy investigators have worried about how AI is going to overtake humans. But I think there are a few fields where I think AI will overtake us, but there are some few fields where AI will not be able to overtake us. That's a viewpoint from my side. With regard to the negative effects, which you're stating that we need to, but for us, I think we need to be more cautious enough. How we use the technology for our own betterment. We should not be persuaded by the, I mean to say, by the technology so much that we become opinionated. Okay, we need to use our own brain for our betterment and for the society as a whole. We need to, judge our own intelligence, be it, physical, mental, emotional, whatever that is. Thank you.
Thank
Hi,
you.
please.
Yes, sir, you can do.
Yeah. So if I understand your question in a very lemon way, what I think you want to ask is, are we getting too addicted to the technology? Right. So to answer you that, yes, technology is making us lazy, right? It is a truth. It is a blunt truth. We are now 75 people live on this particular video session. And if I ask how many of us can purchase a bag of flour from Amazon pantry, I think 75 of us can do. Right? It would be very easy for us to go to the Amazon pantry and purchase a pack of flour, right? But how many out of 75 can go to the field and grow paddies there? I think the numbers will go down very drastically in a moment, right? So that is what is happening. So technology is making things very comfortable to us, but on the same way, we are cutting the cords from our basic things. So now let's talk about this was simple thing about food. We can talk the same about security, our physical well-beings. So these, we all can purchase the best of the shoes online, right? But how many of us can actually run for 5 kilometers without, yeah. So this is it. I mean, like, yes, technology is making us lazy in a way, but we have to stay connected. Otherwise, it's a single-side war.
So I think just to add one more point. Technology is hampering, I mean to say, the young generation. What I've seen. So there is a report by Harvard that they've advised the people to practice at least in a day. Just calculate how many hours you spend in social media. For example, X amount of hours you have spent on social media in a day. So on a weekly basis, just try to reduce it by at least 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes, and then at least 1 hour. Okay, so this will help because if you see, for example, if I take my own case, I think after a span of 30 minutes or so, I see Instagram, I see my Twitter account, I see my LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere. So I think you are just diverting away from your own, to the kind of work that you need to do. I mean to say, if you see LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook or Instagram after 2 hours, I don't think it will make much of a difference unless until you are recruiting somebody to LinkedIn or you have an interview scheduled. So I think if you divide your own work in a schedule, that can be done as per your betterment, and increase the time frame with regard to non addiction to the social media for some point of time. I think it will immensely benefited by all. I think that should be practiced. That's an advice from my side.
Very rightly said, Anshuman bhai. And many times it is not of the use. Sometimes we go to the Facebook, we keep scrolling the feedback, this wall just to see new content, even if it is of no use to us. At the night time, at 3 a.m., I'm watching some person, digging and making a swimming pool, natural swimming pool. I don't know what I will do with that content, but I'm just looking at it. Right. So this is kind of what is happening. I'm sure that nobody is messaging me on WhatsApp, but even after every 5 seconds, I will open the WhatsApp and say, okay, aaya to nahi hai, chalo. So
Right, right.
this is a very serious thing. If we see it in a very scientific way, this is kind of a very bad addiction that we have. We are going to the Instagram, we are checking Instagram, we are following people, we are looking. We want to go deep into their lives. We want to see what our favorite actor is eating, anything and everything. What kind of facial creams they are using. So this is very serious if you see it in a very positive way.
So today everybody is a content creator, and we have some kind of competition. Like usne bana liya, he has made a video. Why can't I make a video? The other day, my friend told me that I'm not getting so much of like what you were getting. How to do that? So he's kind of competing with me. So that's kind that I have told it guys create kind of FOMO, and a lot of anxiety, depression is happening amongst people for that actually. Yeah.
We have another question, sir. That is, how to effectively promote the issue of natural ecosystem in the context of developing models of sustainable development in the media. Sir, would you like to answer?
Yeah. Nilotpal, you want to check how you natural ecosystems in the sense of what? What are you meaning by natural ecosystems should develop? Media houses, see, media houses, when you talk about ecosystems, you're talking about effective being zero carbon, carbon net positive, or you're talking about when the hardware that is happening? What do you mean by that? Issue of natural
So by the hardware, so that is happening.
ecosystems, I didn't get you.
So by the hardware, so which is being used, like
Pardon?
so the hardware, so the hardware part.
Yeah, hardware partner. Yeah, that's I got you right now. So see, when you develop these media houses, when you develop technology, all these factors which are the future, ESG or care about environment and all are the future. It is not that the companies want to do it; they are being forced to do it because what the climate change is happening, what other companies are following, the benchmarks, the big companies are very very forthcoming. The big media, the big IT companies are very very big, forthcoming in being carbon net positive or reduce the e-waste that is happening. So this is the wouldn't ESG was not a very very common term 5 years back, but right now it is very pertinent. If you see, there are a lot of investors who there are ESG funds right now which are investing only in companies that honor the climate or actually that take care of the climate. So this is very very pertinent right now for developing sustainable development models, you know both in manufacturing processes and also in the services sector, wherein there is a recently a study by McKinsey when they have found out about the efficacy of working from home. How much of positive net positive energy has been retrieved by people working from home, stopping of the offices, and the output that has happened, not affecting the output of the, and also the e-waste as hardware, as you said, reducing the e-waste is to be there to minimize the energy consumption. That is the future. There's no two way about it that it will not be developed. That is the only future that you have to have. If we want to give this world to our children, then that is the only way to go.
Okay, so we have another question which is
I hope
specifically for
it answered.
Okay, so we have another question which is specifically for Vishal sir. So as you mentioned about going to human instead of going with only purchasers or both seller and purchaser, then aren't we limiting to just emotional marketing and somewhat rational marketing will be ignored?
Yes, it's a very good question. You raised a very good question here. And when I say that emotional intelligence is coming up, it is surely the future. But what will happen is rational marketing will not be ignored. It will be transformed. So when I say transformed, let me explain to you in an example. So see, for example, when Mr. Singh and Anshuman said, and it is very right that print media is going down. So print media will be is here maybe after 10-15 years. It would be extinct maybe even. So, but still, right now, if you talk about right now, what print media is doing is they are changing, they are transforming themselves, and they are into a way different form of a media right now. So, for example, if you are looking for a speaker for your event, and if you read an article on Economic Times by a particular author I'm sure that you will have that kind of weightage for that particular author, right? You will want him to come to your show and talk about any of the topics. So this is what is happening right now. Rational marketing techniques are transforming themselves. So it used to be, calling at first, right? People will do this cold calling. Now cold calling is going down, that is true, but now that has transformed themselves into more of a taking feedback kind of a thing. So now people will call you, they will ask what kind of products do you use. They are not selling you directly as it used to be in a cold calling scenario, but now the things has changed. Although the process is one and the same way, the practices are transforming themselves for the recent generation.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful answer. Sir, I have a question also. Sir, digital media has a lot of uses, but nowadays there's a lot of fake news which is being spreading, and they spread out so faster that it is really hard to distinguish which source is the right source. Because every media portal, every media channel is currently telling that okay, this is fake. Somebody's telling his is fake. So it's very hard to distinguish which news is actually right or wrong and which to believe or not.
Yeah, so it is not actually spreading faster. It is spreading very beautifully. So that is making it tough. So now what is happening is fake news looks so close to the real news that you cannot not actually differentiate between it. So when you read a fake news, and it happens many times, right? You read in on your Facebook screen that particular person is no more with us. You just open the link and you see the whole information. So this is becoming so close to the reality that it is very hard for us to differentiate between what is real and what is fake news. And for that we have to again use our own technology, which is our community, our feedbacks, our suggestions. So if we know a particular page which is going good, we should give a feedback about it so that more people can join, and they then have that kind of responsibility on their head that they do the tough task of differentiating between whether it's a fake news or a good news. And if you are going through a bad page, for example, then you should report it so that no other people can be harmed with it. So we have the power for that. Technology is weapon against us as well as with us. So this is a dual kind of a sword.
Thank you, sir. Do participants, do we have any more questions? Okay. So, thank you, our esteemed guest. I, Achint, on behalf of Team NEWSWIRE and Dot Club, extend our gratitude to the esteemed guest, Mr. Sethwinderjeet Singh, sir, Mr. Anshuman Saikia, sir, Mr. Vishal Bhadwatsar, for gracing us with your presence. Your experience and knowledge has given us on the topic how technology has changed the way we use media. We would also like to thank our esteemed member of Dean Academics, IBS-Hyderabad, C.F. Salijan, sir, Student Activity Coordinator, Madhavi Garikaparthi, ma'am, HOD of Operations, NIT, and Area Coordinator, Samedev Chakraborty, sir, Mentor of Team NEWSWIRE, Asha Binuraj, ma'am, and Mentor of Dot Club, Krishna Datsena, sir. We would also like to thank our sponsors, Cherry Blossoms, Glycocart, Crick Academy, Culture Legends, D Gamers, Filter Beans, 4Vision, Henry Harvey, Story Network, Tripuri, Soundsworth Manipur, and Kurite Henna.
A huge thanks to the entire team for making this discussion a successful one. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Anshuman. Thank you, Vishal. Thank you to the organizers.
Lovely talking to both of you.
Bye bye. Yeah.
Bye bye. Cheers.